Yeah, I mean, the harmonica is more annoying than the banjo, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, no. I know.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be. But
No. But I mean,
but it is until you're really good at it.
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
I haven't heard you play the harmonica, and I know you're not good at it.
Oh, have some faith, man. I mean, I'm also not good at it.
Hello, and welcome back to the Space Jam Continuum, the show where we try to make a cohesive cinematic universe out of something that was never meant to be one. I'm Chris McLennan.
I'm Carl Noble.
And welcome to the second ever episode of Season 2
Wow.
of the Space Jam Continuum.
And it'll be the only second episode as well.
It'll be the only ever second episode.
Yeah.
It's a very limited...
yeah. But I mean, I think all of our episodes are going to be very limited.
Yeah, we'll only do each one once.
Yeah.
So, like...
Well, as long as the recording sticks.
Yeah, so tremendous sense of value, I'm sure you'll all agree.
I'm more awake.
Yeah, that's good. You look more awake.
I know, right? I'm not hungover or anything.
Last week, Cal fell asleep during the last cartoon, and
I had a long night.
I'll need to listen to it back, but I don't know how valuable his contributions were towards the latter half of that episode.
They were not valuable.
So you remember vividly.
I remember they were just not useful at all.
Well, let's see if we can up your game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I started season 2 pretty well. I'd like to continue going up from there.
I mean, I reckon you can remain engaged this week due to two principal factors. One, you don't seem as hungover, so presumably not.
Yeah.
And two, your boy Daffy's back in the mix. How you feeling about that?
Yes.
You haven't seen him in probably a month and a half?
No, I haven't actually.
So let's jump right in with what makes Daffy duck.
A heavy object coming towards his head?
Is that what makes him?
Well, I mean, that would make me duck. No,
well, I suppose so. I suppose so. Like, you know when a joke is so ingrained in the zeitgeist that you don't even recognise it as a joke anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what just happened there.
Oh,
so
well. I tried, man.
If this is your game upped, I'm worried.
No, but I mean, that's definitely up from me falling asleep on the set, isn't it?
For the comedy calibre of this episode.
I'll work on
it. So let's dive in. We're watching What Makes Daffy Duck, which is the Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd number from February 14th. Oh, Valentine's Day.
Oh, lovely.
1948. Well, maybe they're going to have a bit of a moment.
Who knows?
Let's check it out. A pleasant return to form.
Oh, God, that was amazing. That's my favourite episode in quite a while. Basically, you've got Daffy just having a nice little sing, and he just pops up into his morning shower.
Yeah.
Which he just seems to have in the middle of a field, obviously.
Yeah, it's just a thing he has.
Yeah. And a fox enters on screen right, Elmer enters screen left, and they both go in to try and get Daffy, and they end up entangling hands as he comes out the shower. And this pretty much sets the tone for the entire episode. You're going to have a fox and Elmer hunting Daffy. And yeah, Daffy just does it the same way he does everything. He just insults people, confuses the hell out of them. And yeah, it was brilliant. There were some interesting bits in it, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, yeah, I mean, the main sort of scheme in it was him Elmer disguises himself as a duck and he plays them off against each other. That was the main sort of Daffy.
Yes, yeah.
He used their schemes against them in a pure Daffy style.
Yeah,
but there's some weird things about it. He knows Elmer's name.
Well, that's it. I mean, like we always kind of knew he knew Elmer, but in this he is actively using Elmer's name. So the fox grabs him at one point because he tries to make them have a race to a far off place to decide who gets to have the duck. And Elmer runs off, and the fox just stays still, grabs Daffy, and starts legging it. And Daffy's just like, Elmer, don't let him get away with it. Come and get me. I'm your duck.
You're being bamboozled.
Yeah, you're being hoodwinked.
It's a host job.
And the fox is running up the hill, to which Daffy's response is to just get out an oil can from who knows where and start squirting
That was
it in front
Daffy's
of
thing,
him.
right? He just has a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but it was a brilliant plan. So he starts squirting the oil in front of the fox. The fox obviously loses grip, starts sliding down the hill as Daffy's going, "Oh, come on, you're doing really well. Keep going." And it's like, Daffy, that is brilliant.
Yeah. like and he knows you, his biggest fan, are watching because he turns to the camera and goes, "Typical of the little black duck."
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah. And yeah, so he gets down at the bottom of the hill. Elmer comes back, and after that, it is Elmer dresses up as a duck to try and catch Daffy, which Daffy is not fooled by.
Yeah, Daffy
he just swims underwater and goes, an imposter.
Yeah, but he just so he plays the fox off hunting the other duck. But we need to stick on him knowing Elmer's name because that's a big sticky point.
It is.
That was very weird. To know your enemy is one thing.
Yeah.
To call them in this scenario, he obviously recognises Elmer. We've never been particularly sure. We know Elmer recognises bugs, or at least has a fiery hatred for all rabbits that look like bugs.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've really had it confirmed that he knows Daffy. Certainly not by name. So it's odd for Daffy to go, "Elmer," but then again, Elmer's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
No, he's really not.
And so he probably just didn't really think about it.
But the scene where Elmer gets Daffy and basically just points a gun at him was quite telling for Daffy at this point because he's got PTSD, from the war. He's Daffy has, because he starts with, he's like, "Fine, I give up, there's only so much a duck can take, there's guns everywhere." He starts flying around, there's bombs,
machine guns, you can hear them, you don't know where they are.
Yeah,
ducks falling out of the air. He manifests fire.
Yeah, as he's crashing because he's pretending to be a plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite a harrowing section of the cartoon, actually, just seeing that, because Daffy was Daffy beforehand, but now it's like, oh god, he's got that winning on him as well, because the war was hard on him.
Yeah, but what I love is the next time we see Daffy, seconds later, when
he gets
flash
away,
cut, he's just looking at himself in the mirror, pouting and doing sort of sexy pin-up girl poses and going, "Oh, you're a handsome duck. You're a full feathered."
Yeah, he's brilliant. His ability to just compartmentalize his issues and just go, "Right, that one shut away, close the door, let's open this one now," and he just goes through them like it's a box of sweets.
Do you think that's his special power?
Compartmentalize
his neuroses.
Probably, yeah. But he just goes through them like it's a box of chocolates. He's just like, "I'll have a bit of that one, I'll have a bit of that one."
He sort of seems to have switches, he can just sort of decide, what ilk of madness would serve me well at this juncture.
Do you remember that the episode where there was kind of him going into the dream world and there was all the piggy banks?
I do remember that episode because it was weird as hell.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think basically in his head he's got them all stored in various piggy banks to which he can kind of input them separately but also access them.
It's like his equivalent of Sherlock Holmes's mind palace.
Yes, yeah, it's exactly that.
Just his...
But it's for his neuroses.
Yeah, it's not for, all the information he needs to solve crimes. It's just so he can just open up the box of frogs.
Yeah, and go, "I'll have these frogs today." Yeah, that was quite interesting. The fox did, for me, kind of confirm one of our early theories about gloves. So at some point, Daffy, I think, changes the... I don't know if it was after this or just before this, but basically the fox ends up with the gun pointed at him from Elmer, and he instantly just goes, whoop, arms in the air.
And you see the gloves jump off.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not gloves. They don't look like gloves on
mechanical.
His hands literally jump and flip off, and while they're in the air, he's just got paws.
Normal paws.
Normal fox paws. And then the gloves flip down and land back onto his hands, and he's then got digited fingers.
Yeah, his dexterous human style
So
hands.
like earlier on, we decided
that was probably the case.
That was largely what we thought was going on. So the animals, even though they're sentient, they haven't had a huge physical change, so they require like some sort of mechanical
I think
glove.
it came up really early, like when we were talking about. I think it was
the
really
Puffy
early.
Dough Trotters.
Puffy Dough Trotters, malformed Puffy Dough Trotters.
I think it was round about that episode.
The classic episode of the Space Jam Continuum, malformed Puffy Dough Trotters.
Yeah.
So that's an age-old theory, and we've seen it in action now. Like, we do think, someone creates these things. Like,
yeah. I mean, what is interesting is like at what point they were first created.
But also they're getting good, like, because.
Well, they didn't just look like gloves. That was it.
Well, that's
they
it.
Right.
They looked correct, and I think we've seen that on other characters. But a lot of our mainstays, Porky and Bugs in particular, like have the white
and
gloves.
They're quite large, whereas the fox's gloves actually seem to
be the right sort of
squeeze
size.
Down his larger paws to fit in.
Yeah,
so
you
whether
think it's
or not there's
uncomfortable,
some sort of,
like a climbing shoe.
Well, I see what I'm thinking is whether or not there's some sort of like tune powering effect that actually shrinks the size of the paw, so it's not uncomfortable and can be manipulated properly.
I don't know.
Well, that's it. It depends how advanced the technology is.
I reckon it's more likely to be
just
uncomfortable.
horrendous. Yeah. So you think you spend a lot of time just like without them on?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get a lot of chance to sort of study, maybe the permanent damage done to his regular paws.
No.
Like they looked all right, but we didn't get to view them in detail.
Well, no, it was a split second sort of thing though. They were up, you saw his paws, then they came back down again. You're like, oh, okay.
But yeah, I think that like pretty much confirms our gloves theory. Do you know? I kind of think that was almost definitely a thing, because there was a cover story for it in our world.
Yes.
Which was, it was just so, in black and white cartoons with the like darker coloured characters, like you couldn't see what their hands were doing, so we just put them in like white gloves so it was easy to see.
Bit of contrast.
And it's like, yeah, sure you did.
Yeah, of course.
Sure you did.
Seems like a likely story.
Yeah, a likely story. Yeah, you drew all these characters over and over again just to make a second seem.
Yeah, but that's it. Like that
footage.
is the part that for the cover story that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, no way anybody's spending that much time drawing like each scene like thousands and thousands of times just to get a few seconds of cartoons. No way.
No way.
Just do not believe it.
No one would do that.
That is ridiculous, sir.
I mean,
it's possible. I believe it's possible.
I mean, now, we've got computers and stuff. Like, you could do it far more easily. But no one was doing it. No one has ever done that.
No, especially not like. I mean, I'm not saying nobody could do it. I'm just saying nobody did.
No one would.
No, because it's a waste of time.
It's
a waste of time, especially when you've got good portals you can just look through, and it's already happening for you.
It's just a complete.
Just record that.
It's just busy work. It's just busy work.
I think we've digressed.
I don't know. I mean, I think that was a lot of pent-up aggression towards the notion of the animator that I think we really needed to get out of our system. It's been a year and a bit now.
Yeah.
It's
obviously been building as well, hasn't it?
It's like we just need to level the absurdity of pretending that you're an animator. Like, so you can all just stop. Like, if you do computer animation, like, Pixar or something, yeah, fine. I get that. But just...
What about kind of like Wallace and Gromit-esque sort of?
There's no way.
No? It's just not. They're like, Wallace and Gromit, clearly actual things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, how they came to be. Like, I'm not getting into that.
No.
Like, I'm not ready. We've got a lot to do here in the Tooniverse.
Yeah, that is true.
But I'm not having it.
That somebody spent so much time, like thousands of photographs.
Yeah.
Thousands just looped together. Like, nah.
I did a work placement at Aardman, and like, honestly, they
never saw anything.
They really, I never saw anything. But like, I still wasn't buying it then, and we're not buying it now. They go to tremendous lengths to pretend that they're just moving like clay models around for days.
I've made flick books before,
yeah,
and they never look anything like they do in the cartoons. It's like, no, there's no way you can get it that smooth and graceful. Like, I've made flick books, and they're just, I mean, they're fine, but they look shit. And the only thing I can put that down to is not my own talent and skill. it's because it's just not possible.
It's just not humanly possible. So that's So I think it's about time for us to just say animators don't exist, and
I feel lighter now. I feel more bouncy.
yeah.
So yeah, like the episode basically ends with Daffy dressing up as a park ranger dog and changing the sign from saying duck season open to duck season closed, and then fox season open. And basically the fox goes, oh shit, legs it. Daffy, dressed as a dog, brings a horse for Elmer and just
and
like,
Elmer's
go
off.
nuts. But what is brilliant is the way the horse runs. That ain't a horse.
I can't say I noticed.
No, it was just bouncing up and down like this.
Oh, right.
Like, it wasn't galloping. It was just going boing.
You're saying
boing,
it's wasting
boing,
a lot
boing.
of energy.
Well, I'm saying it's wasting a lot of energy. Like, it's not being very efficient in its running. And I don't think it was a horse. I think it was basically Daffy.
Two of Daffy's family in a
Yes,
horse costume.
he's just went, oh, I need a horse quickly. What have I got? And he's just whacked a horse costume on something. I don't know what.
You don't know what. Like,
Well, no, I don't know what, because it was wearing a horse costume. It was a pretty good one as well. But it did look a bit wrong.
I
It
mean,
didn't quite look like a really good horse. It just looked like that's kind of a horse, and then it ran real weird. And I was
just like Daffy
nope.
looked like kind of a dog. He didn't look like any dog we've seen.
No,
so far.
he just looked like it's a dog in a park ranger uniform.
We've seen Daffy's either like gang or family
A lot.
step in
Yeah,
for
I
really
like,
anything he wants them to do at any point.
yeah, I think that's what it is. I think they basically just got two of his crew to put on a horse costume, and
Yeah.
they'd explain why they were running that way.
Okay, so yeah, there's some bullet points from there. There's some bullet points from that episode, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Daffy had a hard time in the war, as we know, and
Yep.
has PTSD to go with his other neuroses.
Yeah,
But Daffy can sort of box them and release them. That's his toon power,
yeah,
we think.
yeah.
Uh,
He knows Elmer.
he knows Elmer by
By name, yeah.
and doesn't pretend not to.
Yeah,
Hands, like the glove hands theory is correct.
yes, yeah. There's
And-
like most toons have normal their normal animal hands underneath gloves.
Yeah. And anyone in our world trying to pass themselves off as an animator
As a
is a
liar.
charlatan and a fraud.
Yep.
So I think that's a good place to be. Let's move on to...
Let's see what the next one brings up for
Yeah.
us.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this one, we've had them before. It's the Three Bears.
Yeah,
It's called What's Brewin'?
yeah.
And it's from February 28th, 1948. So let's see what those three bears are up to.
All right then.
I didn't think there was going to be as much to chat about there as I think there is.
There's quite a lot to chat about. The first thing I want to chat about is the title doesn't make any sense to me. Does it make any sense to you?
Why is it What's Brewing?
Exactly.
I mean,
I don't make any sense. to me.
I get the brewing, BRUIN
Yeah.
part as a pun, but they're not brewing anything.
They're not brewing.
They're not making
I mean-
tea. They're not.
I mean, the
making
guy
beer.
is stewing though.
Yeah, but that would have been a better title.
It
Wouldn't
would have been. Yeah. Should let Warner Brothers know. Warner Brothers, if you're listening,
I don't think we should
Change the
let
title.
Warner Brothers know really about anything we're doing until
until we're done.
until we have the good new cinematic universe laid out with like a presumably like 20 to 30 film release schedule.
So I was just wondering where my cap was.
You were delivered. I thought you'd seen something
Oh,
like a creature. It's like Cal's eyes just suddenly darted to the corner of the room, and it turns out he's just wondering where his new Space Jam hat is.
I've got a Space Jam hat. We didn't tell anybody. I was too tired last
Like
week.
we didn't tell him, but you said that like it's an announce.
It is.
We'll put it on the Twitter. It's going to be good. We take some good pictures of your good Space Jam hat.
Yeah, it's real good.
He bought it in Florida. He took a picture of it, and I thought, yeah, that's a good hat. But it's got a lot of features on it that
yep.
I didn't get from the initial picture. And I think it's right to be excited about the cap,
It's a good hat.
and to wonder where it is.
It's in my room. I just remembered I put it away.
But I think we should focus on the cartoon.
All right. So the three bears,
Yeah.
they're up late playing gin rummy, and by late I mean like when they look at their clock, it's 9:30 November.
Well, they're I think the impression I got was they're about to settle down for their hibernation.
Yeah, but they were pegging it as in they were having a late night.
Yeah.
But by late night, they meant they were leaving it a little bit later into the year before they started hibernating.
Yeah. So he's basically trying to cheat at Gin Rummy because he keeps losing to Mama Bear.
Yeah. This is Papa Bear, by the way.
No, this is Papa Bear, yeah. Who's a lot smaller than I remembered. Like, I remembered the baby being big.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest one. But Papa Bear's very small.
Yes.
But yeah, he's trying to use Baby Bear to cheat. Like, Baby Bear just looks at the cards, tells him what to do. But Baby Bear clearly isn't very good at Gin Rummy or has it in for Papa Bear.
Or wants, Mommy Bear to win. Who knows?
Yeah. But basically, like, the first issue we have is that Papa Bear loses his rag and just squarely punches Baby Bear in the face. And I said, we recoiled a bit. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I said,
what are you doing just punching a baby?
And I can't remember, like, you sort of tried to maybe justify it in a way. It's like, well, that doesn't let you hit your kid. And you said, well, maybe it's not his kid.
Yeah.
And that
maybe
draws me to my first question. What dynamic do you think this Three Bears family is rolling with?
I mean, like, we've seen a lot of, like, interesting fetishes and kinks in the Tooniverse.
Yeah.
And, like, you know how some people just like to, like, dress up as an adult baby and, kind of live that sort of lifestyle, or there's pet play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's...
So do you think it's a MD-LB situation?
I mean...
Because if he's helping Mummy Bear to win
Gin
Rummy as well...
Yeah, I mean, I think it very well could be that way because, like, I don't know, he's acting a lot like a baby, but I mean, he doesn't look like a
he's
baby.
Reading
he
a
doesn't
book as
sound
well.
like a baby.
Forgot to skip back and check what the book was.
It was comics.
It was comics.
It said comics.
But the title of the comic was comics.
Well, the on the front cover was just the word comics. So I mean, unless it was a book about stand-up comedians. Which I find unlikely.
Well, I don't know if he's not actually a baby.
No, that's it. And
it could be anything. Maybe he's just got a sleeve he puts on it that says comics to fit in with his
astrophysics, and he's,
he's
studying for a degree.
Yeah,
potentially. But I mean, the thing is like, how do we know if he's even a bear?
I mean, this is there's a trouble to the depths of things that we've seen in the Tooniverse so far, whereby
we don't always know everything is what it says it is.
Yeah, but how far do we want to just jump and assume it goes layers and layers and layers deep?
Well, no, I'm not saying.
I reckon
I'm not saying he's not a bear. Like, at the moment, all evidence is saying that he is, but I'm also thinking he's maybe not a baby.
So where do we think Papa Bear fits into this this dynamic? If we think,
I mean, he doesn't seem happy about the whole situation.
No, but do we think that's part of the thing as well?
What, he's playing strict dad?
Is it a like Daddy Dom, Mama? Like, I don't know, some whatever a middle level would be.
Yeah, I mean, like
little boy,
like she never
triple.
Yeah, she never spoke
dynamic
at any point throughout the whole thing. She was very submissive throughout the whole thing.
But she wasn't. No, she wasn't submissive at all. She was like driving him up the wall, and he was doing very little about it.
Yeah.
But in the end,
she was opening the window.
But in the end, he does come down.
In the very end, they all end up tied up and gagged in the bed. So, I mean, make of that what you will.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, initially, I thought, the dynamics between Mama Bear and the kid.
Yeah.
And he's just he's not a big fan of that situation.
No.
But if that were the case, I don't think in the end he would have, won out.
Yes, yeah.
It's hard to say. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I think we'd need more episodes between them to kind of try and work out the power players,
the power dynamic.
Yeah, and just see who's where.
Yeah, the parameters of the relationship.
Yeah, but I'm working on the principle that Baby Bear ain't a baby.
But yeah, by the fact, so yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think it's like if Papa Bear was sort of a cuck in the situation,
yeah,
then he wouldn't be piping up and getting angry about it because that's not his role in
the relationship,
in the dynamic. Yeah. But if he were like a dom in the situation, then like they wouldn't be just acting to piss him off the whole time, or at least it would be established that he can put his foot down.
Yeah.
And when he puts his foot down at any point in this episode, nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have to see some more. It's a complicated dynamic.
It is, but it's nice to see that there is, it's not just a black and white situation in the Tooniverse.
It's also nice just to keep a character in a bracket where we can still look at it and go, I think this is a consenting dynamic, rather than that guy just punched his kid in the face.
Yes, definitely.
So strange though this path might seem,
it's better than the other one.
I think it's better than he punched his kid in the face.
Yeah, no, I concur. So, what is interesting is Papa Bear's either it's a manifestation of a new Toon power, or it's an existing Toon power he just doesn't use that often. But he's basically kept up all night, and by all night we mean all hibernation.
Yeah, until spring.
Yeah, so it gets round to March, and he finally has tied everyone to their beds, and he's
tied everyone down,
trying to get some sleep. And then all of a sudden, spring has sprung, and there's noise everywhere. He bursts open the window
because it's all like machinery, isn't it? It's all like lumberjacking.
Yeah, exactly. Like all the ice is falling and hitting things, and all the mooses are moosing. And he basically just opens the window, shouts quiet, and time rewinds.
Yeah,
the seasons reverse, so it's back into winter. All the snow goes back onto the roof.
Blossoming plants just retract. The snow leaps back to the roof.
The moose mices.
Yeah, the sun goes down.
Yeah, snow starts.
Yeah, and so I mean, he was already. They're all ready. They're already up. They're playing gin rummy. They've got a house. They've got clothes.
Yeah, so they're all sentient.
They've all got. They've all had their moment.
Yeah,
and passed their trouser test. The usual moment where your Toon powers sort of manifest has happened.
Yes.
Now, we have seen people gain Toon powers before.
Yeah.
Like, the main one is like the Bugs, Elmer, Toon Lord power transferal.
Yeah, that transference bit.
But
we haven't seen anybody
have
just
a second
develop,
moment.
Yeah, like develop a new Toon power. But I mean, it's possible that it has happened. We just haven't either noticed it before, or it's just never happened on screen.
But I think that has to be what occurred there, because if that were his power already, then his rage before he could have just rewound
But
time.
maybe he has to be raging for that power to manifest.
I mean, he got pretty angry.
He did. But the thing is, like maybe he knew he needed to get angry for that to manifest. It's kind of like the Hulk. Like Banner can't just Hulk out whenever he fancies. He has to get to a point and then Hulk out.
Yeah.
So maybe that wasn't just a brand new Toon power. So you can't just use it at will, because that would be too much.
Or maybe the rules of their relationship just say no Toon powers.
Possibly,
but when it's everything else keeping him up, he's allowed to use his Toon powers to deal with that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, that's it.
We're going to have to see more of these three bears.
More info.
And it's not listed as, the last ever Three Bears episode.
Which is good, because I'd like to more information.
Yeah. Shall we take a look in the old Porky piggy bank?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't emptied it between seasons, so, it's still got
I might have emptied it between seasons.
What? What did you empty it on?
Well, I had to live.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is in between seasons, we were living rather frivolously.
Yeah. So it was madness. I don't know why we thought we could sustain that sort of lifestyle.
Yeah, just having a month off. No.
I mean, ultimately, long story short, we haven't sustained that lifestyle.
No.
Let's go and look at the empty piggy bank.
Go on then.
So it's time for the real reason we had to start season 2. We thought we'd crest off a live show. No one would notice we were gone, and we would live a life of Riley with yachts and stuff.
It didn't work, did it?
It didn't work at all.
No, I haven't got a yacht. It's not even rained enough to have a yacht.
Yeah, I've had to work the whole time.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I say I had to work. I went to Florida.
Except for work is a really strong word for what you had to do.
Some of it felt like work. It's a family holiday. Feels like work.
So, for those not in the know, this is the part of the show where we just share some ways in which you can help us out. If you're enjoying the show, then please take a look at the kaiju.fm support us page and consider pledging there. There's a lot of great shows over on kaiju.fm.
There is.
Give them a listen, and if you're feeling flush, you for as little as $1 a month, you can start getting some cool goodies back,
which is always good.
And
Everyone
it
likes
helps
goodies.
us out in a big way. And even if you just listen to our show, it comes out at like 25 cents an episode,
which is a bargain for what you're getting from us.
It's a bargain.
I think.
Yeah, you can keep the straight face there.
No, but I struggle to keep a straight face at any point.
That's true. It's just a wonky face.
Oh, thanks.
But otherwise, if you listen on iTunes, please give us a review and a rating, because it goes such a long way to helping our visibility. And just take a 30 seconds of your time.
I haven't checked recently, but I still don't think we have a rating yet.
I don't think we have a rating.
No, and I don't know how many reviews it takes to get a rating. But we don't have many.
We don't have
and
that
we
many.
know a lot of our listeners are listening on
iTunes. 'Cause we got the stats.
Yeah.
So please, if you listen on iTunes,
just put a review.
Just bung a review down, please.
Stick some stars
It'll help
in.
us out so much. We're working on getting the store up and running.
Yep.
So there'll be some T-shirts and badges and things like that. That shouldn't be too long, but I couldn't put a date on it.
Is there going to be T-shirts with like pictures of our face on them?
I
Because they're not going to sell
not.
well.
I hope not. But the great thing about using one of these storefronts is, if they don't sell, no one makes any. So
should we give it a
fine.
try?
Yeah, let's put. Okay, yeah, let's do that. We can have a little competition.
See whose face sells better.
Yeah, who's got the better face?
Right. I mean,
an age-old.
Who's got the better
finally
face?
Settled.
I mean, I don't think it's quite a fair battle, really, because it's like, okay, well, it's not about who has the better face.
I think this might be one of our most tangential visits to the Porky Piggy
Yeah, I
Bank.
think
Yeah,
it is. Let's get back on track.
I don't think it's going to convince many people that the kind of content we're delivering is worth $1 a month.
25 cents an episode. Bargain.
So head on over to kaiju.fm, check out the support us page, check out some of the other shows there, and please leave us a review on iTunes.
It makes a
if you've
big
got
difference.
that. We'll tell you as soon as the store is up, and we've got some cool t-shirt designs and things up there. So looking forward to that.
It's gonna be fun.
But otherwise, just tell your mates.
Tell everybody. Don't just tell your mates. Tell everybody. Everybody.
But
Spam social media. Do whatever
Write
you're
a
going
letter
to
to
do.
your MP.
Yeah, if you can write a letter to your MP and tell them about us, that'd be great. Because they could talk about us in Parliament.
Why would they do that?
Because we're great.
Good thinking.
Thanks.
Let's watch some cartoons.
All right.
That was the most useless Porky Piggy Bank section ever. Let's go back to your boy Daffy.
Oh, and he's coupled up with Porky Pig.
He's back with Porky Pig.
Which Porky?
Well, I'm going to imagine the fourth.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be good to see the third again?
I don't know. Last time we saw him, he had an ICBM in his kitchen.
Yeah, but I want to see what he's up to.
All right, well, let's see which Porky it is. We're watching Daffy Duck Slept Here. Is Daffy going to die?
No.
It's like, that sounds like a heavy title to me.
It does, but nah.
It's Daffy Duck Slept Here. It's a Daffy Duck and Porky Pig number from March 6th, 1948. There is several things to try and explain away in that episode, and I've got fuck all any of them.
Okay, so let's just we'll start from the start and explain what kind of happens throughout the episode. So there is a big event in town. All the hotels are full.
Yeah, some sort of expo.
Yeah, the DOPE is in town, and like all the hotels are full. Porky is trying to find a hotel room. Now, the place is so full that even the new 10,000 room hotel has a fake queue painted on the side of the wall to make people think that, that's already full. And I think it's because they've probably been booked up over the phone already.
Yeah.
That they're just putting them there as kind of placeholders so people don't have to come down and actually queue.
Yeah, one thing worth noting, though, is that the false queue, and indeed a lot of people working in the city are human.
Yeah.
There's a lot of human...
So humans are now seem to be fully integrated back into society.
Yeah.
They, at one point, we see a hotel... Porter kind of come outside and he just puts a sign out with a cover on it, whips the cover off, and it says 1 room available or room for rent.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, bang, everyone's at the door. So it flips to the inside of the hotel and the porter is against the door and Porky manages to slip in through a gap.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll take it. So the guy locks the door and goes and he's like, right, you're going to be in room 30, but you're going to be sharing with somebody. Now I'm thinking, okay, it's a twin room. There's going to be 2 beds.
There's not. There's 1 bed.
There's 1 bed. So Porky gets up there and he sees that his roommate has left a signed picture of himself on one of the desks.
And it's our boy Daffy, and he's,
but
he's not there.
Porky doesn't recognise him. He just goes, he seems like a level-headed fellow. Now, anybody who's ever met Daffy would never look at Daffy and go, he seems like a level-headed fellow.
So we've got to conclude this isn't either Porky III or Porky IV.
No, it's a Porky
unless
who
he's
doesn't
heavily
know
under
Daffy.
the influence of something else, or
it's a show.
Yeah, or I don't like it's a show.
Well, no, but the thing is, it's a show doesn't work because we've seen plenty of times where they've put a bit on for us.
Yeah.
But this isn't one. This is not what's happening. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, there's very little. So we're trying to work out who this Porky is, and it's fair enough to say that he doesn't seem insane enough to be Porky III.
Nope.
And he's not stuttery enough to be Porky IV. So
nope.
I think we do have to go at someone else. And our best pool of potential Porkies is the lookalikes from Porkytopia.
Yeah.
And he's just one of them who's reintegrated into society because he has a job associated with this expo in some way, right?
Yeah. The way the episode ends, it seems like he's in town to catch a train.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you not just think? Oh, we didn't get what the expo is, but
no.
So he's just there for the night, and he's just going to get on a train and.
That's what I'm thinking. Because it definitely seemed to end with him quite keenly getting on a train. He seemed pretty convinced that was what he needed to do.
No, I mean that supports a bit more for me the idea that he's someone trying to re-implement after the Porkytopia debacle because that says he's off to start a new life somewhere or
potentially he's off to Mexico.
He's for the most part in the episode he's very sort of subdued and chilled out and not so I think he wouldn't have functioned very well as a double of Porky Pig if conversation had started. He's got a very different demeanour.
Well, I think I genuinely think he's off to Mexico because he's obviously spent time learning Spanish. I mean, it would have helped if he'd learned Mexican, but he hasn't.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's what we've got to conclude. Who we've got to conclude this is just a Porky lookalike from Porkytopia reintegrating in society.
Who's never come across Daffy before.
Who's never come across Daffy Duck before. The other thing to reconcile...
Well, they had to share a bed.
They had to share a bed.
I want to reconcile that. If you go into a hotel and it's really fully booked and someone says, you're going to have to share a room with somebody, you're like, right, okay, it's going to be a twin room. No, you have to share a bed with somebody.
Yeah, because there's no rooms.
Yeah. We're renting out half a bed, not we're renting out a room.
But we know Daffy has the gift of the gab, right? And maybe he couldn't afford his room.
Porky didn't pay. He was just handed a key and sent upstairs. Daffy was covering the entire cost of the room.
That's... Well, now I want to know what Daffy's agenda is. Because...
Maybe he's just lonely.
Maybe not a thing. Because that's not a thing that would happen, right? Yeah, it's not like you're going to have to... No. So I thought maybe Daffy can't cover the cost of the room and has somehow convinced the hotel owner to rent out the other half of the room. Yeah. But you're right. No money changes hands. So what's Daffy trying to do?
Make friends. I think it's just make friends with people.
Make friends He doesn't like. I don't know, but
he couldn't.
He's
have
got
known
a
it was
Porky
gonna-
Pig in his life.
and he also couldn't have known that it was going to be Porky, like the Porky lookalike coming in. So
Yeah, I don't know. What's he trying to do? What's he trying to gain?
it's Daffy. Probably nothing.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I am asking about the motivations of someone who puts a signed photo of himself on the table in a hotel, goes out on the piss, and then comes back with what
An
he claims
invisible
to be an
kangaroo.
invisible kangaroo.
No, I don't think that's just a claim. I think there was genuinely invisible kangaroo there.
Yeah, he does go behind it, but like I would say that's a visible kangaroo that looks like part of the room.
But yeah, and can constantly change it.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's a visible kangaroo.
Yeah, because he gets
a
into its
camouflaged
pouch.
kangaroo.
He gets into its pouch and basically disappears up to his neck and then bounces around because he's like, "How do you think I'm doing this if it's not here?" And it's like,
and we
fuck
were watching
knows.
it and go, I don't know. I guess there's a kangaroo.
Because like I'm fairly confident I know most of Daffy's toon powers, and you know that I don't think was one of them.
Not one of them. And we've
And
dealt
the
with
ability to close a door from a distance as well, because that does happen.
And we've dealt with invisibility briefly before.
Yeah.
So, you know, we know it's a thing that can happen, but yeah. I don't think we need to dwell on that. I don't think that affects much.
No.
The other thing is just, like, by the end, Porky's getting annoyed with Daffy. He drops him out of a window.
Yeah, quite cold-heartedly as well.
Daffy, you know, obviously, he's Daffy. He just pops back up. He's bandaged up and has crutches,
Yeah.
and then he just goes, nah.
Kicks them off.
But
But I think that's the point he realises Porky's asleep, so the gag doesn't work.
Yeah.
So he's like, I sod it.
Yeah, well, you think he got all this
Yeah,
stuff
he got all
together.
bandaged up to go, oh, I'm all ill. And he's like, oh, he's asleep. Fuck it.
Fuck it, that's the bit lost.
Yeah.
But then he manages to, in Porky's slumber, convince him that it's morning and that he needs to
Catch
his train, and manages to convince him that the window is the train platform.
Yeah.
And he sort of walks out of the window. And Daffy shuts the blind and says he can't watch. But then when he opens the blind, it is the train platform.
Yeah.
And like, really, I don't know what's going on in this episode at all. That was the point I had to admit that anything I'd started trying to work out, I actually had achieved nothing.
Was thrown
at all.
out the window.
Yeah.
Like Porky.
So I don't know anything that happened to us in those 8 minutes.
No, I mean, like maybe it was just a complex use of mirrors. And we were actually just seeing a train platform and maybe a mirror had dropped.
Okay, let's roll with that. Let's call it there. Complex use of mirrors. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Are we done?
I mean, do you have anything else?
Not really, no.
No, that's the trouble.
Oh. Well.
All right then. It's a complex use of mirrors. And it adds nothing. I literally have nothing. I don't know what's gone on.
No, I mean, the
We've
good
got
thing
a new
is...
Porky. We've got Daffy, for some reason, convincing people at a hotel to
Jump out
rent
the
a
windows.
room,
Right,
a
yeah.
room out that he's already in. Like, somehow. Like, we've got a train station appearing at a window. We've got an invisible kangaroo. I don't understand.
No, I mean, I got nothing, man. Complex use of mirrors. That's all
It's
I
a
got.
complex use of mirrors, ladies and gents. So tune back in next week for those kinds of amazing insights. Until then, I don't know what to tell you
Yeah, I mean, if you've got anything at home,
at all.
I mean, not just I don't just want you to tell me about like your potato masher and stuff like that. But you know, if you've got any ideas on that episode,
The first two cartoons
Let us
we
know.
watched this episode, I thought, oh, this is going great.
Boom, yeah, knocking them out of the park.
There's some good stuff. There's some funny material. This one, just like, oh,
I got nothing.
we've whiffed it.
Yeah,
Okay, so complex use of mirrors. See you next week.
yeah.
Bye!